Hello there and welcome to Shuttlebay for episode 15. This time we look at the Voyager episode Dreadnought and we ask, if you could go on a night out with anyone from the Star Trek universe, who would it be?
No, I'm just happy to see you, Brush. I've not seen you for weeks. Literally, the last time you were on one of these calls, I think it was October.
It's been a while.
It wasn't October.
Was it not October? It just feels like it. Steve can't join us today. You might have seen it on the chat because his missus has had an operation. So understandably, he is with his missus, as he should be. But I've got a funny feeling that Steve probably thought the episode was shit. Probably hated it.
Well, he hates everything.
He enjoyed one.
Is it?
He liked one the other week. I think it was Trials and Tribulations. Can't see you, Rachel, but I can hear you. Oh, I can see you now. I can see you. You're on.
Hi, Rachel.
So, what was the homework then? Oh, yeah, the homework was Dreadnought, to watch Dreadnought. Yeah. And if you were to go out for a drink or a party, fun time, who would you go with from the Star Trek universe? So there we go. Who wants to go first on Dreadnought?
Yeah, go on then.
Go on then. Was that Chris?
Yeah.
Go on then, Chris.
He's got a book.
Jesus Christ, he's got a load of notes.
I'll tell you what, we got those those things handed out at the last Trek convention. I can't see it really. But...
Yeah, I gave mine away.
Yeah, Bruce gave it to me.
Yeah, so I've started to use that. I thought I might as well put it to good use. Okay, so, I mean, I've only kind of picked out things I could giggle at, really. So the first one was Tuvok saying, when I was around the conference room at the beginning, saying about this torpedo. And I think it was Chakotay says it's got a massive amount of armaments. It's got anti-protons and proton weapons. And Tuvok piped up and said, that's enough to destroy a small moon. Well, straight away I went, that's no moon. It's a spaceship. Paris was talking about how he started a fight with Lieutenant Rawlins. Well, I've met Woody Rawlins, and in fairness, I think anybody would punch him. He's just one of those people that's one of brown-nosing, anal-retented, sideway hair parting, four-portion sack of shit. I'd smack him any day. One of the worst lieutenants on the bloody fleet. Yeah, no, he's bellend.
He was who I wanted to go out partying with.
No, you don't. No, not this fella. Paris said, I'm going to run a multi-phasic sweep. Well, I was just curious, is this going to be with a yard broom, kitchen broom, witch's broom, or sooty's mate?
I can't believe you didn't use the word brush then.
And also, you say broom really weird. Sorry.
A lot of people say brum. I say I'm a broomer, not a brummer.
Broom, yeah.
Broom. Well, I don't know anybody that says broom except him. It's broom.
Brush. Today at work, I was talking about a brush and I totally thought of you. I was like, oh my god, this word is...
You're taking my name in vain.
No, I was talking about an actual brush, but I was thinking about you. I was like, god.
Why? Was it a toilet brush?
Oh, I haven't heard that one before. What was really cute is, while I was in America, there's a kid, the youngest one is 2, he's nearly 3. And it took 3 weeks for him to realise that he came up to me after 3 weeks, he came up to me with a brush and went, oh, look! And I went, yeah. I'm like confused. And he's like, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, it's you! And I went, okay. I'll give it, because you're 2, I'll give it to you. But I've heard that before. I just gave him the death stare. And he left after about 20 seconds.
Give us the death stare then. That's not a death stare. Was it?
Well, he nearly died, so.
Those are your come to bed eyes.
Oh, I get those mixed up, sorry. Perhaps that's why I'm single.
That's why
12 years.
That's why,
12 years. Oh, shut up. Carry on.
That's why he's single. You got a cellar full of bodies.
That's why you've decided to have a separate hotel room this time. We need to have a proper discussion with you about that.
Okay. Go on, Chris. Go on,
right,
Chris.
Okay. All right, I've only got 2 bits left. So the first one was something I did actually point out rather than poke fun about. I didn't need to poke fun of it. The female transporter operator, if you saw her uniform, specifically the neck, it was really badly fitted. It was all bunched up and everything. It looked absolutely useless. Rubbish. I don't know why I picked up on that. I just remember seeing it. I was like, couldn't get one fitted.
Chris, you're the new Steve. You're just so negative about everything.
The other one was when they were attacking the torpedo, and Janeway said, "Make Voyager more of a threat." Instantly, I thought, "What are you going to do? Invite it round for Neelix's cooking?" That's it. That's what I got.
Nice one, cheers. I'm going to go next. I'm going to jump right in because I haven't made many notes, so I can just sit back and relax and listen to everybody else's. So the first note I've got is, what the is going on with B'Elanna Torres' eyebrows? They were huge. Honestly, they were absolutely massive, really big, bushy bastard things. But I actually did Google it afterwards, and there's more discussion. When it comes to Voyager, right, the main thing that people seem to discuss are people slagging off Janeway just because you get loads of just really misogynistic bastards out there that can't accept that a female captain exists. And the next thing is B'Elanna's eyebrows and forehead, and the fact that her ridges change between episodes and her eyebrows go from more bushy to less bushy. So it turns out that loads of other people have noticed that. EMH has got some incredible lines in this episode of Brush.
I bet he come up with them himself.
There you go. I'm actually not really going to focus on the episode and stuff that happened. I'm going to focus on one aspect of it that really irked me. Okay. Now, just to mention, this episode, I thought it was a typical Voyager episode. I thought it was pretty good, but it wasn't brilliant, right? And what annoyed me is this. So Paris turns up late to a meeting. He is noticeably ruffled. He's not done his hair. I think he's not dressed properly. Chakotay even takes him to one side and says, "Listen, I expect you to be dressed properly for staff meetings, blah, 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 blah." And then he has a chat with Torres, and she says to him, "What's happening to you? People are starting to talk about you." And he goes off on one, and then he goes on about he's made some mistakes, and he says something like, he goes, "Yeah, I've done things wrong. I've done lots of things wrong." And all this stuff's happening. It's clearly building up to something, right? And you're waiting for it to happen. You're waiting for it to happen. And then the episode ends. You're like, what? What was all that about? It was you don't do that for no reason. And it feels as though there was some other plot that was.
No, it links into the season ending.
Haven't you watched Voyager?
It links into the season ending.
Is it? All right, okay.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
It also happens in an episode before this when he's betting in like Sandrines.
I'm not watching them.
Picked them up on that. It's because it's leading towards the episode investigation.
Basics. Yeah.
Have you actually watched Voyager? Fucking hell, man.
I watched it all the way through twice and then select episodes. All right, do you know what? I'm going to climb back in my shell and I'm going to be quiet now.
You know, that was clearly pointed at the fact that he was, spoiler alert, by the way, trying to infiltrate the people that were betraying the ship, which you also saw in the episode.
Right, okay. Yeah, it rings a bell now. I feel stupid now. But
Michael Jonas.
Yeah. But one thing I have criticised Voyager for, and I have to kind of almost suck it back in now, that criticism, is the fact that it hits the reset switch and you don't really get many episodes that have an impact on following episodes, whereas this clearly does, and I didn't pick up on it. So, yeah. Anybody who does watch the recording of this, I'll be like, this guy knows nothing.
Yeah, Dan. Fucking showrunner. Honestly.
Not because you're the one that edits it, you'll just cut that bit out.
What I'll do is I'll just have you all guys laughing and just make it sound like it's just something really hilarious.
Or you could just make it like we didn't know the facts and you did.
I'm just going to say it now. Wait there. I'm surprised you guys didn't know any of that.
You need to say, did you watch fucking Voyager?
Did you not even... you not fucking watched it? Yeah, there we go. That's all I've got to say on it then. I'll just shut up now, listen to everybody else who clearly knows much more about Voyager than I do. Who wants to go next?
Me, can I go next, please?
Go on, Marie. Go on, Marie.
Yeah, I watched mine with subtitles on, and it was weird how throughout the episode with the Doctor and I forgot her name. Kez, yeah, that's it. And it was on about the names, and when he was talking, the Doctor, the subtitle actually called him Dr. Zimmerman.
Yes.
Right, okay.
That's the name it picks, isn't it?
You watch subtitles?
Well, that's the name it picks in the end, isn't it, Zimmerman?
No, it's the creator.
Oh my God, Dan, have you actually watched Voyager? Literally, what are you talking about?
What? I thought he named himself after Dr. Zimmerman, who designed him or something. Maybe it's just I'm a big Bob Dylan fan. I don't know. It's just stuck in my head. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah, and I thought B'Elanna had good leadership qualities, and she was a brave warrior. And I agree with you, Dan, about Tom Paris with the dishevelled look, and like there was no follow up. Yeah, that was it really. But yeah, I'm gonna have to dip in and out because my partner's ill, so I'll be in and out, and I'll just listen But if you get to the bit where the person you want to meet, mine's Casey Biggs.
Oh, so you've gone for the actor rather than the character, yeah? I can see that though.
Well, both.
Both,
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jamal likes a drink.
Yeah.
Right, I have to go. Back soon.
No worries, Marie. Who wants to go next then?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll go
Patches.
next real quick
Patches.
because I didn't really make a lot of notes about this episode, so this isn't going to take
Yours is
long at all.
never quick.
That's what she said.
So I've been told.
Hey.
Right at the beginning, he's talking to B'Elanna as Tom Paris, and he says, I was wrong about a lot of things. And it really drew me in. And for Voyager, that was really well acted, you know?
For Voyager.
For Voyager, I just find Janeway Chakotay, Tuvok's quite off-putting because he's that square and he's that kind of arrogant. A lot of the acting puts me off. Even Bob Picardo overacts quite a bit in his part, and it just reminds me I'm watching Star Trek. In this episode, I think the actors were finding their feet after the first series, and they were really getting into it, and they were really convincing. And I just kind of lost myself in the episode rather than pick it apart. I really enjoyed it. It was definitely a B'Elanna episode. This was one of hers. The Tom Paris bit, he featured quite prominently in the episode. I think it'd be nice to meet him next year, actually, because he really, really carried himself quite well in this episode, and I thought his performance was quite believable. And even Chakotay, when he pulled him aside and said, smarten up, I expect you on duty on time and looking the part. It was proper Star Trek done, and I quite liked it, and it drew me into the episode. I stopped making notes at that point. And the transporter room chief with the dodgy uniform, Chris, did you see the size of her fingernails?
Yes, especially the little one.
Energize.
The little fingernail. That's the cocaine fingernail. That's what. Yeah. It's just the.
See, the rest of the fingernails weren't that long. It was just pinky.
Just the little fingernail.
Yeah.
Just that little thing. That's the Tony Montana.
Say hello to my little friend.
Fingernail. And I thought that was a bit out of place for a transporter chief, and it really stuck out. I was like, what's that?
That is not regulation, Mrs.
Yeah. Yeah. So I kind of
needs Jellicoe to go in there.
Yeah, Jellicoe, yeah. Smarten up and cut your nails. So that's all I've got. But it was a good, solid episode. I really enjoyed the episode, which isn't usual for me and Voyager, to be honest. But it sucked me in, and I really enjoyed it. Good pick.
Nice one.
I'm glad
you
enjoyed
it. It is definitely more classic than a lot of Voyager is, especially sacrificing the ship to in the way of the warhead as such. But I think they did forget that they had shuttles, and they also have warp cores, but we won't get into that. Or the fact that you could have dumped the warp core in front of the missile and blown that up too. That would also have worked. But you know what Janeway's like. Let's kill all the crew as quickly as possible. That's the Janeway motto, right?
I was thinking more tractor beam. Just tractor beam the shit out of it and slow it down.
Indeed, it was a bit cringe looking back. It's not as good as I remember, but it's still a fairly solid episode of Trek.
It's definitely not a bad episode. It did remind me though. Is it Warhead?
Anymore talk of Robert Picardo overacting or not acting correctly. I'm afraid I'm going to have to see the person outside fight against Robert Picardo.
Don't worry. There'll be a group of us against him.
Yeah, I do love Bob Picardo.
Oh, I know you can take us all, Patches. Get over yourself.
I fucking can as well.
I
think the science didn't stand up on this. Someone mentioned the warhead and how big it was. It was 1,000 kilograms of antimatter and 1,000 kilograms of matter that would combine. If you've got a 2,000-ton antimatter yield warhead, looking at E equals mc squared, that would be, so the biggest nuclear detonation ever was 50 megatons. That's the Tsar bomber. This would be 782 times bigger than that.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. It is just so much information. I don't know how you guys aren't yawning.
So it wouldn't just blow up a small moon. This would actually take out half a solar system. It's 1,000 kilograms of matter.
Wait a minute. I need to check your calculations there. I'm just giving you. Hold on. I've got my pen and paper. Just hold on.
Right, so
It's
E equals
Voyager,
MC squared.
No,
yeah,
I think
so-
it'd be a quarter of a solar system, even if.
No, E equals MC squared. So E equals 2 times 10 to the power of 3 kilograms times 3 times 10 to the power of 8 to the power
No,
of
wait
2.
a minute now. He works on the railways, everyone. You know he's freaking a mathematician.
So,
here.
yeah, and I'm an engineer as well. So E equals 1.8 times 10 to the power of 20 joules. Yeah, so...
Okay, yeah, wait a minute. I've got to do one thing for you. Can I do
Everyone
one
thinks that when they hear that I work on the railway, that when you hear me coming, you'll actually hear my knuckles dragging.
When I hear you
across the
come
deck.
in.
Don't worry, Ben. I'll just lick it up.
I would also like to point out the fact that it is Voyager, and you know, they've been using the same 9 photon torpedoes 600 times. So let's not get too much.
No, wait, no, John Joe, you've stepped on my toes there. So, Voyager uses 7 photon torpedoes in this episode, and that's bringing them up to a total of 11 out of the 38 irreplaceable photon torpedoes that they carry. And we are on episode 2. No, sorry, season 2, episode 17.
And Brush, let's not forget that they used one of those in the episode Drive to start a race.
Yeah, that photon torpedo was one of the most advanced pieces of technology that we've come across. And it's like, what, the Cardassians just had these, did they? And they thought, oh, we won't bother using these. We won't bother taking over the Alpha Quadrant. And
the thing is, though,
yeah, they didn't make an appearance during the Dominion War, did they? These.
Well, they didn't make an appearance at all. So it was and literally one of them can take out a planet. You're like, what are you talking about? Why haven't they got?
I've established it can take out more than that, Brush. Yeah.
I am still doing the calculations, and I can't agree with you, Patrick. I can't.
Well, I'll be checking your maths after.
I've actually got one of these torpedoes in Star Trek Online, and I've seen the episodes. So I think, okay, this thing's going to be great. So it fires at the target before it gets there, and when it gets there, it destroys it. Now, considering this thing can, if we Patch is to be believed, can take out a solar system, all it did was bounce off the hull. It did useless.
I'll go next then. I haven't written a lot. My brain is in America still, so I should be asleep right now, and that's how I feel. So, Dreadnought, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, I did write, it's so advanced. Why didn't the Cardassians use it regularly? And why haven't we seen this, technology before? I liked that it was directed by LeVar Burton, and I went on to read that he was really actually impressed with Roxanne Dawson in this. I think it was the first time he'd worked with her one-to-one, and he said, her preparation and her everything she did to do the episode was really, really impressive. B'Elanna episode. So it was a B'Elanna episode. They're always B'Elanna acting against herself. Did you find that? Especially coming up to this point. In season 1, you had Faces, which is her actually acting against herself without the ridges. And then you had Prototype, which is her with just an android. And she's kind of the mother, feeding herself into this android. And then this one is the same kind of thing. So I feel like they don't know, well, that's the way they write for B'Elanna. It's always really full of angst, and you learn a bit about her past, but it's always torturous past. It's never anything pleasant with B'Elanna Torres. And a standout moment for me, well, the bit I enjoyed was in the background. You had, somebody mentioned, you had Janeway in the background dealing with the planet and that the ambassador or the president, whatever he was. And I just found the end of that B or C story, if you want to call it, was really touching, actually. But they were willing to sacrifice themselves for the planet, if necessary. And the fact that they thought of Voyager, just this one ship that nobody knew about, really. They already had an impression of them being destroyers. And so I thought that was really nice, that the way they gave Janeway that scene with him on screen. I thought that was a really nice scene. I'm going to go on now to do this. So there was 2 people who appeared in Emergency Room today. Chris's was the best, I gotta say. Michael Jonas. Michael Jonas has been on Murder She Wrote 3 times, 3 episodes. And Loram, he was also in Murder She Wrote. Woo! Yeah, I know. Dan's good. I'm going to say, oh my. Oh my.
Oh
I don't know if
my.
this is interesting. It was just something I read, so I wrote down. There wasn't a lot. LeVar Burton used a Steadicam for approximately 85% of this, and he chose that. So the way they had to light Dreadnought as it was so that there was no extra lighting required. Like Dreadnought lit itself, and then he could do what he needed to with a Steadicam. Throughout the episode, I mentioned that Voyager uses 7 photon torpedoes in this one episode. 7 photon torpedoes in this one episode. So Roxanne Dawson voiced a computer in this episode because she was on Dreadnought as the computer voice. She also voiced the computer in another episode. Is Penfold still with us? No. Is he?
Yeah, he is. He is. I can see him.
Penfold,
Yeah.
I can't see you anymore. Do you know what episode that was, Penfold?
Is it going to be something Enterprise?
Of course.
I can't. I don't know.
Would it have been that station that replicated itself?
Excellent. Yes, it is.
Oh,
Jet
wow.
Stop, yeah.
Thank
I
you.
like that.
Thank
I like
you.
that.
No, please. Thank you. Thank you.
That's my oh my's. Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my. Who wants to go next?
Go on, I'll do it. Yeah, mate. Funny enough, enjoyed the episode. I like anything that relates to the Marquis and the Cardassian history in Voyager. You don't get to see a lot, and there was a talk about they just kind of lost their way with the Marquis divide. But I always love any kind of stories that linked in the Marquis' past. I always wanted to see more. And yeah, it wasn't the most exciting episode, but it was a solid, good episode. And obviously had that nice little arc in towards the basics 2-part at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Other than that, I can't really say much more. Again, it was just I wish there was more Cardassian stuff. I did like the scene where they changed the voice back into the Cardassian voice. That was quite a good scene like that.
Now, also something I read about that particular point then was on Deep Space Nine, they use a female voice as the Cardassian computer, and they said they decided to make the change so that it was obviously different to the other female voice, which was B'Elanna Torres. So they chose it to be a male voice, so it was a contrast in that point.
Yeah.
I really liked the fact that you saw Cardassian in it, and you could immediately identify it. I thought as soon as you went aboard, it was like, this is obviously Cardassian.
Yeah.
And that's from the influence of Deep Space Nine, having watched that.
Yeah, the old cars graphics and the screens with like the wedges that come in, and like Cardassian stuff has its own quite Eastern architecture. Do you know what I mean? Like lots
it's very distinct. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
anything to do Cardassians.
It's more. There's hard science in there. That the circle or the sphere is a shape that is it's in use in space because it works, because it takes pressure in all ways, and you can balance it out. And Deep Space Nine and all of the architecture that comes through in this episode has that look and feel. And I did wonder, did they recycle one of the sets maybe? But
probably would have
built it just for this episode.
I would say they would have. Yeah, they might have had to like build a certain shape that was different, but otherwise
and redecorate
maybe just redress a set that from DS9.
Excellent. Oh, we've got a visitor. Hello.
Yeah, and the person I probably want to go out with would be Bob Ricardo or the AMH. I'm a massive fan, and he's one person I haven't met yet.
That's who you'd want to go out with. You can go out with a crew. You can choose a few people, but that's your pick, Bobby Picardo.
Yes, I haven't.
Yeah,
we'll come back to that in a minute. Let's do.
So what I've done is I've picked characters, not actors.
Yeah, I've done characters as well.
Have you done right? Okay, because I've just done characters, and the two suggestions we've had are actors, and I think mine would be completely different. Maybe
I like those suggestions. Yeah, we know. The thing is, it's almost
Rachel.
Rachel,
I went all out. I went characters, but I did a complete night out.
Rachel, did you watch the episode?
No, I didn't. I forgot. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. No, you don't have to apologize. It's fine. It's fine.
I've seen it in the past though, so I remember it vaguely, and I think I liked it, but I don't yet. Not.
You remember liking it? That's the main thing.
You would have liked it. It's Voyager.
Yeah.
Of course I liked it. Voyager.
Jojo, are you back at home now? Or are you still driving? Driving home for
No,
Christmas.
I'm still on the train, but
you're on a train.
having given tonight's episode and lent in towards the speaking point, I thought it'd be very rude of me not to at least sit lurk in the background.
You might not want to talk to you on a train, because I'd probably be embarrassed if I was sat there saying, well, this particular episode of Star Trek, I would be like, oh my God. I'm in a train. Sorry, what were you saying?
I've been out to the works doing a Trek jumper, so I think
okay.
Ship sailed. Apologies for the signal, etc. I think I might have missed my point to talk on the episode, but I'm pretty sure everybody else has pointed it out. I just like the way it was a bit pure Trekky.
No need to apologise. Anyone that wears a Star Trek jumper to the works do needs to apologise for nothing.
Yeah, that's loud and proud, man.
It was not as good as I remember, but I like the whole Federation values are still intact of just shooting the missile before it gets there. But yeah, no, I'd agree with Rush on, it's funny the Cardassians had these and weren't conquerors of the Alpha Quadrant, because, you send one of these towards Earth and suddenly, the way it reacted to the Voyager was, it was like a Borg cube. Like, it just did nothing to it. So,
yeah.
That's basically the whole story arc of the Xindi, though, from Enterprise, isn't it? They send a doomsday machine to Earth to tear strips out of it.
Yes, indeed.
So it's kind of, that's done.
I take it you moved on to characters that you would take out to a party. Is that what we're on to now?
Well, we're just getting onto that. So, John Joe, on your work's Christmas do, which character from Star Trek would have made it better?
Luxana Troy, without a shadow of a doubt.
Luxana Troy, yeah.
Entirely mental. And I think that would be good no matter the situation. Would be someone who's nuts. A close second was Quark, which maybe tells you more about my company than perhaps it should.
Nice one. Well, we've got Maurice, you'd have Casey Biggs, both the actor and Damar. And I didn't even think about Damar, but as an actor, Casey Biggs is quite charismatic and he does singing, so I guess he would be quite an interesting person to go for a drink with. He'd be straight on karaoke.
His character Damar's an absolute pisshead as well, isn't he? He's just hitting Damar really hard.
Loved it, yeah. I'm going to say cheers to Damar. Yeah.
Hey.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good choice. Who wants to go next then with their party people? Go on then, Chris. Get your book out.
Is it the whole book full? Is that now your black book?
This is now going to be my Shuttlebay 4 critique book.
I see. Yeah.
So obviously I go out with a crowd of people, and I'm kind of trying to match up a typical night out with the people you go out with the characters. Okay. So Tom Paris, because everybody has got that party starter, and I think he's definitely that person. Worf, because everyone's got that strong silent type that just kind of stays at the back, making sure everyone's all right. Data, because you've always got the person there that just fills your head with fun crap facts all night. Neelix, because everybody has that one drunk that gets laughing and just can't stop. I think he'd be that. I think he'd do that all right. Tuvok, the non-drinker, designated driver. And then you've got the girls. Now, the girls, I've got 7 of 9, Troy, Hoshi, and Uhura. Right? And these are the 4 girls that will just kind of sit there slagging off all the other girls for what they're wearing as they come through the door. Riker and Kirk, because you've always got the 2 blokes that are sort of saying, okay, let's have this bet then, who can get the most telephone numbers in the night. So I think that'd be quite interesting with Riker and Kirk. And then Scotty, because everybody's got that one person that has way too much to drink and you've got to carry them home.
That doesn't necessarily have to be a bloke either.
No, there you go.
My crowd is a bit different, and for opposite reasons. When I come up with this proposition of picking a mob to go out with, I thought it was really, really easy. But when I started thinking about it, it became harder and harder and harder to pick a decent-sized crowd and not have everyone there. So I started off with Kirk, McCoy and Scotty because of the episode that we looked at around Halloween. And basically Kirk took Scotty out on the piss to get him a bird sorted out because he was getting a bit angry and a bit antsy and he needed to get laid basically. And at the end of that situation, Kirk and McCoy were like, yeah, should we go to that bar with the women that do that? And McCoy went, yeah, let's go to that bar. And I thought, no, that'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty good to go out with them. And then I thought about the next gen crew. And I just didn't I don't know if I'd want to go out with Riker. Riker would be one of them guys that he would come out, he'd be dressed real nice, and by, if you hit the bar at 7 o'clock, by 9 o'clock he'd be going. He'd call an Uber because he's pulled some bird, and he'd be like, yeah, give us a ring, tell us how it goes, I'm off. And he wouldn't stick it for the night. He would just slip out. He's a total tart. I wouldn't like to go out on the piss with Data. Particularly Data from the later movies, when it becomes really irritating, when his emotion chip and he starts doing the voices and the talking tricorder and that, he would just piss me off. I think LaForge would be quite dry on a night out, and to be honest,
there's someone that would get blind drunk.
Hey,
boom, boom.
You're all right. Thank you very much.
I don't know about Picard as he is on the next gen, too straight for me. Now I know that there's an episode where Tapestry, where when he was younger, he used to tear it up. He used to play Domjot with Nausicaans and have rucks and all of that kind of stuff. But the Picard that we know, that's all long gone, and I just wouldn't fancy it. The one I would take from the next gen is Worf, because he's hard as a coffin nail and he can drink. So,
prune juice.
Yeah. He's not proven drinker.
Warriors drink. But if I was going out with Kirk, McCoy, and Scotty, I couldn't take Worf, because like if you go out and there's two people in a crowd that just don't get on, would be like he'd be staring at Worf, and Worf would say, what are you looking at? And would go, well, come at me, bro, because he doesn't really, he doesn't like. So, yeah. So as soon as Kirk starts drinking and I don't think Worf would lose face, and he'd see it as an honour to fight with Kirk. So they'd just tear up the whole thing. They'd ruin it. So I've moved on to Deep Space Nine, and I tell you who I'd like to bring out: Dax, Jadzia Dax. I said it in the last episode for the last critique, but she's proper. She hangs out with Ferengi. She gambles. She drinks a lot. She loves having a good time. And she's just got generations of stories of, and she drinks with Klingons, man. She dates Klingons. She's definitely up for a laugh. I think Jadzia Dax would be a perfect pick. And Bashir. I think Bashir would be good. Not Bashir and O'Brien, even though they do stand there in Quark's pint for pint and they do I don't know about, I just feel like O'Brien, me and him would clash. I just feel like we would. But I get on all right with Bashir. Further on with Star Trek, Pike. Now, Pike and Kirk, they're tight. I like him from Strange New Worlds. I think he's a good laugh. That would be my pick. Kirk, McCoy, Scotty, Dax, Bashir, and Pike. And if I would kind of ring Kirk on Thursday and say, look, I'm going to ask Worf to come out. What do you think? If you don't want him there, if you don't like him, then we'll sort something out. But if you said no, bring him. It'll be cool. I'd bring Worf as well. That's my pick.
That's a good pick. Can I just say, Patches, a lot of your picks seem to be based around going out and having a drink, and so I cannot believe that you've missed out Martok.
So Martok, I think the thing about Martok is I was thinking like some of the ancillary characters. Martok wouldn't be there because he's pure Klingon and he'd start headbutting everyone. Do you know what I mean? It'd be like, and it'd be one of them people, that watch what you're drinking. Like, you haven't drunk enough, drink more. And again, people like that, like, no, I'm good, man. Cool. So Martok wouldn't be there, and Garak, who's one of my favourite characters from Star Trek, he wouldn't be there because I just think, he'd be the one sat there with a face like a ventriloquist doll, like weirding everybody out. You know what I mean? Like, Garak, lighten up, man. Just have a drink. But no, I just don't think he'd be good for the night out. I was thinking of where to go as well. In the Star Trek universe, there's a few places to go. You've got the obvious. You've got the 10th Forward. You've got Quark's Bar. But there's a couple of other places that make it through the movies, like that gaff on Nimbus 3 with the cat stripper and the water snooker. That looks pretty good. And there's a place where McCoy gets arrested. With like the tarantula face people and all that lot, where he's trying to barter a ship and the waitress goes, "What's your poison, Doc?" That looks like a happening little spot. Lots of neon lights and table lights and all that lot. So if I was going to take this mob out, it would be I think that's Earth Space Dock, the bar on Earth Space Dock. That'd be the place. When that dude with the lips and the thing, Genesis, that place, that would be the place.
Wasn't that the place that also had those biplanes?
Yeah,
Okay.
That'd be the place, like the neon bar down at Space Dock with that crowd. Do you know what? That'd be the business. That really would, and it probably would end up in a fight as well. I've noticed that about Starfleet officers, Bashir, and everyone like that. If you take the piss out and Picard, I mentioned in Tapestries, if you take the piss out of Starfleet in a bar or something like that, they all stand up and they're like, "Yeah, what did you say?" They're always up for a scrap. They are, aren't they? Like, did you just insult the Federation? This Federation's going to mess you up. And it doesn't matter how big they are, Klingons, Nausicaans, whatever, they'll have a go. They'll get stuck in. So, and particularly this mob.
The thing is, that's very
well.
atypical of squaddies as well, though.
Yeah, they do.
Well, not just.
Yeah.
I mean, as an engineering officer that spent a lot of time at sea, that's very much the attitude, you know. I may not like the guy I'm defending, but if someone calls him a twat, then we're going to have problems. Even if I do think he's a twat, it's a whole different ball game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to
mind the gap. Please mind the gap.
Yeah. Spock kind of loosens up a little bit, and his human side does come out. And I was thinking, can I leave Spock out of the deal? But in Star Trek 5, when he's like, Captain, life is not a drink.
I understand. Yeah, but still, no, because he's not going to sit there and drink with you, is he? You know, right?
No, he's not, and he's incapable of having fun or experiencing emotions. And for that reason, Spock, Data, they're out. Riker's a tart, he's out. LaForge's just boring. Picard, boring. Kirk, McCoy, Scotty, Dax, Bashir, Pike, maybe Worf if Kirk will wear him, but Kirk's the man. And obviously, all of you lot as well.
Oh my God! Let me be sick again.
So, who would you go with then, Brush?
Okay, so I tried to think about this, and I thought it was a really weird category, and I only gave myself about 20 minutes. So, weirdly, a lot of what Patches has just said went through my mind. So I went through them kind of series by series. TNG, I got to TNG, and I'm like, oh my God, I won't go out with any of those guys. Like, none. The only one, again, like piqued anybody's interest is Worf. And I was like, oh, why take Worf, actually? So for TOS, I thought Scotty and Chekhov immediately. Scotty and Chekhov. And I think that would be funny. Already, those two are like funny.
Why Chekhov?
Why Chekhov? Because he's hysterical. The couple of episodes that they give him that he's got anything to do in, his jokes are always Russian-based. Everything's from Russia. Oh, yeah, an old woman from Russia.
Russian invention.
And he's just funny. And I will say I'll go back to the Tribbles episode because this is Scotty and him. I think it is one of Chekhov's best episodes because they give him a lot to say actually in that episode. And again, it always relates to his Russian heritage. So for me, Chekhov and Scotty together, that's why I put them together. I actually, weirdly, again, I went to Deep Space Nine and I thought of Dax and Bashir. I will admit, it was weird that you said both of them before I did. But Dax, definitely, Jadzia Dax. But also, I wouldn't mind Curzon Dax. And then the Daxes before, we don't really know because we haven't experienced them. But Esri, you can just leave her off the list. It was just the fact they killed off Jadzia Dax, which I was furious with, and I'm still furious with in my life. I'm still furious. They took a little piece of my heart that day. I will admit. It's opposite of a Trek tingle. It was like heartache for me. Sorry, I'm carrying on. The Doctor from Voyager. So who have I got? I've got Scotty, Chekhov, Dax, Bashir, Doctor, and then and I thought, yay, fun, we're all out drinking. And then I had to write after that the hippies from the TOS episode.
Oh no.
But it's
hey,
not necessarily.
Man.
Yeah.
What's that name that they keep saying? There's a name that they keep saying.
I don't know because I can't remember.
Now. It's awful.
It was just.
I'm on it.
Well, hippies.
Who can do it first? Come on, this is a competition. I love this. Fastest fingers wins.
I found the episode. It's something like Herman. They keep saying. I can't remember what it is now. What is it they keep saying?
What name on now? I've been
intrigued. Don't want you.
You what?
I've no idea.
I don't want.
Herbert.
Oh, there you go. Dan wins.
If I'm ever flying anywhere, because I hate flying, I put Star Trek on because it's my safe place. So I downloaded the episode, and honestly, I had my hand over the screen. I was that embarrassed. I was like,
why would you download that?
Look, I was just working through them sequentially. I was
The
doing,
dude,
I was
the head
doing
hippie.
TOS.
Hippie that's running around in the tights.
He's been in loads of stuff, him.
Yeah.
He's in the Blues Brothers as like a
Oh, is he?
granite jawed country and western. He's one of the good old boys that wants to kill Jake and Elwood. And I just can't, I knew him from that, and then when he popped up when I was rewatching the original series and he popped up, I was like, no.
He's in DS9, Little Green Men. He's the general.
Yeah. That's a pucker episode as well.
Mm-hmm.
The
Really
first
good.
time I remember seeing him was the pilot episode of Knight Rider.
You didn't catch any fish.
Just weren't biting. Now that's how fishing is. Sometimes it bites, sometimes it don't.
Oh, right. Seeing that. That's maybe where I recognise him from, because when I was a kid, I was a massive Knight Rider fan. I still do love it. A lone crusader in a dangerous world. The world of the Knight Rider. Who wants to go next?
Should I go next?
They were good picks though there, Brush. I like your picks, bro.
Yeah, they were good picks, them. I think Patches and Brush should actually have a good night out together with the crew they picked, because they all seem to go for the same sort of thing, which is drinking.
Yeah.
Before Rachel goes next, I just want to ask Penfold a quick question. Are you drinking Romulan ale?
No, it's a blue glass with some Finto hardcore stuff tonight.
Oh, okay.
Penfold, you could have been so cool.
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm not. I know my place.
Penfold, of course you're cool. Of course you're cool. You're
with us on this call, yeah. That makes it automatically cool.
Trust me.
And pick your glass up again. And you're drinking Romulan ale.
Hey! Tell us your people, your party people.
Actually, my people have not been mentioned by any of you. So that's There was even one person who explicitly excluded one of the people that I chose to think. But anyway, so I think the most fun person for a party would definitely be Q. I mean, you can just snap, snap you into any fun situation. You can snap a drink in your hands. You can snap some funny clothes on you. Or I think Q is definitely my.
Yeah, that's why he wouldn't be there, because he could snap your clothes off him.
Yeah, after a few drinks. That's a good shout, Rachel. That is a good shout, Q.
He might be there to snap the clothes off, but it's Riker that's going to be the first one in there. So.
Yeah, if he run out, do me.
I would agree, Rachel, as long as Q is like doing what you ask him to. That's fine.
So yeah, Q would be my number one. Who else? Garrick. So I would definitely. Garrick is just funny. Yeah, that was the one that was mentioned, I think, by you, Patches.
Yeah, I wouldn't take Garrick.
No, because
I know, and I understand your reasoning, but I just think he'd be fun. Like, he's just all mysterious and stuff, and I think. But you and I are different people. For me, he would be fun. I would just love to have a drink with him and him just making up stories and me just wondering, is this true? Is he lying? Who knows? Who else did I pick? Oh yeah, so I really like Harry Kim from Voyager. I was like, oh, he's just cute, you know? He needs to be there as well. I just like him. And he likes a party. Because he always went to the parties in the Voyager. And yeah, not everyone is going to agree with this one. But I think, what's his name? Barkley. Because he was...
It's Barkley!
Listen to me. Okay, I like him. I like Barkley. I would take him along. Just to get him out. Just to get him to socialise.
Yeah.
And last but not least, because this person always needs to be included in everything I do in my life, Lore.
Honestly, no. When you add them all together, around the table,
it would be a very weird party.
Yeah, that would be Laura and Garrick would cook something up, wouldn't they?
Laura and Garrick, and you'd have Q doing the thing with his trumpet and the big Mexican hat. And he'd be doing it for Reg. Reg would be sat there.
I only pick men. I need to pick some women.
No, Rachel, you can go out with whoever you like. If you want a gang of
guys,
but
this is just going to go wrong. Me with all these guys, this is not going to go well. No, I need to pick I picked Pulaski.
That reaction was brilliant.
you know what? I want to ditch my list right now. I want to be at that party.
You could sell tickets, Rachel.
That'd make a good joint Starfleet poster, wouldn't it?
What about you, Penfold?
So I didn't realise it was going to be a party. So one person I do want to meet would be the EMH. Back in the old days when I was in the Navy, my crew would have been all Klingons. But now, because I'm really don't drink, I'm socially awkward. My party would involve Barclay. It would involve Bashir. It would involve Rom. It would involve Will Wheaton. It would be all the socially awkward people and Data in a corner on our own, just like staring at each other. Oh, and Malcolm Reed. Malcolm Reed would be there as well. It literally would be just a table of us all in the corner going, "Oh dear, what do we do?" That would be the party, and the most interesting person at the table would be EMH.
Definitely.
Why all the Klingons?
You know what he would do? Come up with all the best lines.
You would.
Go on, sorry, Marie. Go on.
I said, why all the Klingons? Why would you crew all the Klingons? Do you trust them more?
Oh no! So in the old days, I was in the Royal Navy and the submarine service, and it was a very different time then. It was involving a lot of drinking and smashing things up. I was a very different person back then.
Yeah, Coupler!
It's me now. I try to think about my favourite characters, but the truth is, my favourite characters aren't necessarily the ones I'd like to go for a drink with. They're the ones I'd like to maybe work with, or just watch on screen. So I haven't really got one single party. These are like separate things. So one thing that Rachel mentioned, and I laughed at it because I actually did think about Barclay, because I thought I don't know much about him, and he does come across as someone. He's maybe quite a sweet person. I would like to know more about him. If all else fails, we can always do one of his creepy holodeck programs. I thought Rom and Nog. I think I can imagine going round to their quarters and playing a board game. I'm not really big into going out drinking, you see.
Oh
so
my God.
I thought really good.
Oh, this is what's funny. It's the exact opposite of me and Patches.
And
like,
then
I fucking drink. I'm taking Scotty and I'm taking Chekhov because he's got vodka.
Yeah, Dax has got like 5 lifetimes of drinking and debauchery, and you want to play a board game with Rom and Nog. I love it.
That's on. This is different nights. So I've got that on one night. I've got Barclay's creepy holodeck another night. I'm really pleased that you mentioned Will Weeks. I've got Wesley Crusher in my list because when I watched it, he was a similar age, not much older than me.
Yeah.
I genuinely think if I could go out, I genuinely think I could go for a drink with Wesley Crusher and we would have a great time. I think that's be great. And I kind of fancy his mum, so I could go around to his house.
Yeah.
So basically, you want to go out for a drink with Wesley Crusher to get to his mam.
Yeah. How many nights have you planned as well? How many nights?
I've got different ones, and then I thought Lita from Deep Space Nine. I think should be a lot of fun. I'll leave that there. I think Lita. I think that'd be Lita. Yeah. Oh yeah.
The Dabo girl.
Yeah. The girl that we What? Honestly,
he lost his head. Then he lost.
Broke Patches.
I'd be a changed man after that weekend. I've got Paris and Harry Kim. I think I'd like to be part of their bromance for a weekend. But the ultimate one, the one that I thought of most of all straight away, the one person, and I think you might agree with me here, and I'm surprised nobody's mentioned this whatsoever, is at first I thought Mariner from Lower Decks, and then I thought, do you know, actually, just the Lower Decks crew, all of them. And maybe
why didn't I think of that?
That was my ultimate. That was the first thing I thought of, and I think maybe it's because I always imagine that I'm younger than I am, because you're always kind of, and they will probably see me as a bit of an old man now, which is awful. But I would love to go out for a drink with the I think I could have a great time with the Lower Decks crew. So Mariner, Tendi, Boymes, I've got all the rest of the names now. Rutherford, yeah. Honestly, I just think that will be a really, really fun time. And I think you get to geek out a bit, which is something I really enjoy doing. And also you get to have some fun. I think Mariner would be great. So there we go, the Lower Decks crew. But in particular, Mariner.
I did think Lower Decks, but I
never thought
me personally, I think that they would tolerate my presence because they were being nice to me. They speak too fast, they'd probably drink too much, and then
we'd ask you to leave really quickly. Don't worry.
There you go. That's me. But at least I get several nights out of it.
Actually, yeah, you did get several nights out of that.
I specifically said, pick who you'd want to go for a night out. And this come from Kirk, Scotty and McCoy going out to a belly dancing club on the pool. And that was where this come from. And Rom and Nog playing a board game was the outcome. I fucking love that.
Hey, I like it. Dan, I'm with you.
There you go. Penfold's invited.
Do you know what? It says so much out of all the stuff that we've done, the top 10 races, music, the top aliens, the top 10 everything, out of all of them, this says so much about the individual. So much.
It's okay. I'll call the psychiatrist for myself tomorrow.
No, I think we all need it because of
Why didn't you make it a group one? Why didn't you make it a group?
This is the group therapy, and this is deep into the realms of intense fantasy. And how I've laughed at that is just brilliant. Fucking brilliant.
Your reaction to this, Patches, has actually been amazing. I've loved watching.
Yeah. You know what? I thought when I come up with my list, I was like, there's no way. Maybe a couple of different names, like Brush and I got a couple of different names, but there's no one else. And the fact that it's so different, and I never saw any of it like that, it's just brilliant.
I'll tell you what I thought I would hear from one of the ladies is I thought I would hear Golden Cot. And when asking why, they said, because I love a bastard.
And I've also found out that Penfold is actually like the Picard that I've just described. In his youth, he was out fighting Nausicaans and playing Tom Jock, but now he's kind of mellowed into this diplomatic, wise old sage. Yeah, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what, D's on. It's a missing side
What
thing.
the time is this, you fool?
Yeah. D Oceans at this time. Hey, D. Oh, it's just Jed. Hey, Jed.
I can't see. Why can't I see you? Oh, it's talk, Jed. Talk.
It's on mute.
Is that Batman?
It's I think it's Luke Skywalker.
Or maybe
Anakin Skywalker.
It's Anakin, yeah.
It's very Sith.
Oh, it is actually a Star Wars. It is actually a Star Wars
The
stuff,
Imperial
yeah.
badge.
Why can't I fucking see you?
Brush is going to give it this now. Oh, what's going on? Oh,
Yeah, well, look, man. I'm up here and there's nothing happening.
I don't think Jed's very well.
I tell you what, I had that flu that's going around is no joke. No joke. You had that as well, Chris.
Chris is too busy rapping.
What?
Did you have that flu that's going around?
Yes, mate. Yeah. It was fucking awful.
Yeah.
So, sorry for my language. It was. I'll tell you what. The headache was relentless for 3 days. It would not stop, and I was popping paracetamol like they were Smarties, and they did nothing.
I'm aware that you haven't done yours. So if you've watched the episode, I just wondered if you've got any thoughts you want to share, or your people that you'd like to go for a drink with.
Well, Jed watched the episode without me because I was busy putting the shopping away and making dinner. So he said, "Oh, I'll just fill you in. I'll just fill you in."
Look, he's ill. He's ill. All right.
The bits that I
Give
did
him a
see of
break.
it, from what I can gather, the only reason I like the episode is because it was a very female-led cast, very female-driven storyline, and there was, you know what I mean?
Good
I was
point,
going for it. The rest of it, I was like, what the hell? I don't. So, that got there when the caretaker nicked them, and now she's got a diffuser. I couldn't give a shit.
I love it.
She's great. I love her.
But who would you like to go for a drink with?
Oh, I wrote it down.
Or play a board game with, if that's your.
I'm gonna knock it. I've got loads of board games. Look.
Like Swana Troy, but she's a giggle.
Yeah, John Joe wanted Lorax
But
on it.
the
Yeah.
laughs and giggles, Jet Reno.
Oh yeah, that's that is a good shout. You know, that's a really, really good shout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And entertainment and just pure joy, Vic Fontaine.
Okay, yeah.
They're my top 3. Like Sana for just mischief, Jet for the laugh, and Vic for the entertainment.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
They're really good. I didn't even think, to be honest, I did think about Discovery, but I kind of passed over a lot of people. But yeah.
But I liked the Taro's comedy anyway.
Yeah, no, I completely. If I were to go back now and redo it, I'd stick Jet in there. But that's really good. I do like that.
Did you pick?
I picked loads. You have to rewatch. You'll have to watch it. It goes on because everyone took the piss.
I only stuck to, you said 3, so I stuck to 3 because I was like,
no, we didn't specify. We said any kind of as many as you want.
Because Jed was like, "Oh right, I thought it was only 3." Because
As many as you want.
Quark. I was like, "Oh yeah, Quark," but you know,
It'd steal from you.
it,
Who would Jed go out with? I reckon Jed would be a doctor at the minute just to try and get him feeling better. Yeah.
Ricardo.
Boring Bashir.
Yeah.
I chose both of those.
Yeah. Bashir's the man.
Miles would be alive.
I'd go out for a drink with Miles. Miles would be alive. Bashir.
Oh, you didn't know. We didn't like the idea of Miles.
I honestly, I think I'd crash with O'Brien. I do.
Patches would drink with anyone if it involved a drink.
Well, Patches will drink with anyone, but he'll also clash with anyone too.
Yeah, that's half the fun.
Take Worf so you could take the piss out of him all night.
Yeah, Worf. We chose Worf.
You suggested Jadzia Dax to me.
Another one of Patches. Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is with Jadzia Dax, he'll try and hump
So
him.
we're taking Jed with us, all right?
Yeah.
Jed and Patches, and then we'll go in. We go.
Hey, Pimple, whereabouts in Nottingham are you, by the way?
Fucking way. Well, Jed.
I don't live too far from Sherwood Forest.
Do you know what? I bet you're only about a 35-minute drive from my house.
I am. Yeah, I was in Donny the other day, wasn't I?
Yes, it was at your missus, something to do with university or something, or
yeah, she got her graduation.
Oh, this is a coffee date.
Which reminds me, actually, I'm not too far from Steve. We were talking about the pre-Star Trek con, the London Film and Comic
wait,
Con
I got something
to.
to do
He's
too.
not here today. I think maybe his missus is poorly sick, going for surgery. And
Yeah,
things
she
like
is,
that.
yeah.
So I just wanted to say we miss you, Steve, and all of your
Yes,
light-hearted banter.
Mrs. Steve. Hope you're well soon too.
Yeah, and
yeah, I agree.
If you don't crop up for the quiz, Merry Christmas.
I want. I want at the end of this. I want a montage of Patches just laughing because.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
I did notice the Sid James thing as well. You stuck in there. You bastard.
I need to watch these. I haven't watched.
They nothing.
I noticed that. I watched all these and I saw. I was like, "You bastard!"
But there we go. Star Trek quiz. Right, I'm gonna go now. I've been saying that for the last 7 minutes, but
take it
see you
steady.
later.
See you later, everyone.
Goodbye, Steve. See you next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
God.
Suck me.
Suck me.
Yes. Come harder and harder and harder.
And then
suck me. Come harder and harder and harder.